Hey guys, it's me, Mr. Sounds 11 here, and I'm back with another Princess Evangile episode for you guys today. And today we are on episode 8. So let's get right into this.
Moonstone.
And we don't have anyone join us today, so it's just me. They're all doing a stream right now on Twitch.
プリン
So
セスエヴァンジール。
I'm by myself today.
ロードロードします。
Really, I am at a loss. I am at a complete and utter loss for words. I give you a strict warning, yet the next day you repeat yourselves. For heaven's sake. Chiho-san, Okanogi Masaya-kun, I cannot overlook this a second time. You will both receive 3 days house arrest. Now, Madam Headmistress. We cannot tolerate this any longer, Madam Chairwoman. It is true that on the surface a slap on the cheek is quite a disruptive display, but on the surface, you must agree that catfights are not uncommon among the filles de la Vincennes. It is a matter of degree. It is not. Oh wait, what? It is not a matter of degree. I already said that. Madam Headmistress, I recall you once saw the back of your hand scratched and lamented how slow it was to heal. I do not feel it necessary to bring up ancient history here. But the fact that things never change is one of Vincennes' most distinct characteristics. This is part of that. Hey Siri, start the timer for 1 hour.
1 hour starting now.
In any event, compare scratch marks to a slap mark. There is no question of which will heal faster. Very well. However, this will be the last time. Next time I will give you a suitable punishment, regardless of the chairwoman's words. Please leave. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Chiho? Hey! She left. Just as it had been during lunch the last time we met, she completely shut me out. It's so strange. It was evening. We were speaking in the recreation room as we had done 2 days ago. Even watching the display, I had a number of questions myself. It seemed to me as though your conversation was proceeding normally, at the least. You did nothing to her that would provoke her so. And yet, I wonder what a Chiho-san could have been thinking. Yeah, Chiho was giving me the silent treatment, so I had no idea what could be the cause. That night I had lain in bed staring at the ceiling. Laid. Okay. Laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, and repeated the scene over and over again in my head. But I still couldn't grasp what I did or said to make her so angry. We were sitting together in silence when we heard a hesitant knock at the door, on the door. So this is where you were. Oh, Ruriko-san. Salutations. Salutations. To you too, Panku. Cool! Ah, Might I join you? Hmm? Me? I wish to speak with you regarding Chiyo-san. Ah, sure. We were just talking about yesterday's events. I see, and I've come at an appropriate time. There is so much that Messiah-san and I fail to understand about her behavior. Do you feel the same way, Ruruko-san? Yes. Ah, I feel I must apologize to you, Messiah-san. Why? The first time that Chiyo-san struck you, I believe that you had wronged her somehow. However, with the shock of the incident past, I realized that my conclusion was an over-hasty one. Then yesterday, because Rise-san was with you— What? Me? Rise-san seemed to know the situation and was still accompanying you, Messiah-san. What I am saying is that I realize that your situation must be sympathetic. That's very insightful. You've always been very wise, Bijo Blue. I had to agree. She acts so vapid, but it was true that she was quite quiet and gentle, but she appeared to be quite observant as well. Would you explain to me the particulars of the situation as well? Of course. I see. And then Messiah-san's concerns proved well-founded. The goons were they called. The two of them are indeed quite dangerous. Ah, but when I think back on that incident, I cannot help but feel regret. Ah, your lottery ticket. I told you not to worry about that. Even so, I believe. Ruko-san thought quietly for a moment before continuing. It was an unavoidable situation, don't you think? But then, what caused Chiyo-san to fly into such a rage? Remember yesterday's events occurred before Remember, yesterday's events occurred before Messiah-san offered her a proper explanation. Ah, yes, that is true. I have felt for some time a certain concern about Chiho-san. Why is that? As I leaned forward, Ruko-san slumped in her chair. You do appear very worried about her. Oh, well, we were childhood friends. It's been over a year since we saw each other. I didn't even know she planned to go here after graduation. That's why seeing her here had been such a shock. If this were a normal school, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But this was the famous Vincennes, and Chio's family was decidedly middle class. Why is that? I would have expected you to discuss your future plans at least. I had been hiding my family situation for a while, which made it hard to talk about. Chio-san certainly did seem surprised to learn about your flight, but why ever did you hide it? I didn't want to worry her. Chio's parents helped me a lot with my family situation. They were good people. I didn't want to put them through that. Plus, my old man was such a con artist. I was afraid that if I made them take pity on me, he'd get them involved in it. So I decided I would never mention money to them. I see. That explains your part of it. But why did Chiho never mention it, I wonder? I'm not really sure. I wouldn't have minded if she wanted to brag a little. I wonder if she felt rather lonesome. Hmm? About what? Miss Ness is a boarding school, as you know. We visit home only during summer vacation and New Year's holiday. In other words, you would have very few chances to see one another. Of course, I'm certain that's the reason why. Right, why are you glaring at me? Oh, do forgive me. My eyesight is rather poor, so I have a habit of squinting from time to time. Right. Nice excuse. The source of my anxiety, though, is the way that Chiho-san is treated as a tourist. Ah, you mean the final course tourist thing? Yes. What does that mean exactly? I've been wondering about that. At my question, the two exchanged a troubled glance. That's right. I suppose the meaning wouldn't be immediately clear. Do you remember that I explained to you how Vincent's education begins with primary course? Yeah. The majority of students here begin with primary course. You occasionally get students who enter an intermediary, mediary, oh my gosh, but very few at final. So they have a hard time fitting in. Ah, right. Tammy-san mentioned that too. Well, as a part of the news club, I know a thing or two, and Chio-san never really fit in. In addition, Vincent's has a distinct atmosphere. You mentioned it the night I met you, Messiah-san. You found my way of speaking rather pe- peculiar. Ah, right. You can imagine what happens then. Beginning from intermid, oh my gosh, intermediary, medi, ah, never mind, moving on. One can fit in eventually, but it's very difficult for the final coursers. I wish to change that tendency as well. That is another part of my desire for co-education. I feel the same way. Ruiko-san. I cannot say that I was always aware of the problem, however. Since befriending Chiho-san, I have noticed a powerful sense of discrimination towards her. There is no connection between one's period of enrollment and one's character that I can see, and yet we act as though there were. I believe that this is small-minded. That's exactly right. I'm so glad to hear that you agree with me, Ruiko-san. It's nothing. Oh, that's right, Ruiko-san. Would you be willing to work with us as an affiliate of the White Lily Society? Though I do not know how much help I will be, I will gladly participate. Cool, cool. Thank you. The two shook hands, and we had our first affiliate. Panterbell was dancing on her shoulder. Yes. I shook hands with her as well. Once I was finished, Ruiko-san stared at her hand in disbelief. This is the first time that I have ever touched a man's skin. It's just a handshake. That is true. Anyway, to return to the point, Chiho-san has been wounded many times since entering this school. I truly hope that we can change things for her, but Chiho did seem to notice when she heard the others whispering about her. Ah, and it may have affected Chiho-san's thinking such that she misunderstood your words. That is what I believe. Misunderstood them? How? Perhaps she believed that you hid the matter of your debt from her because you believed her to be faithless. I remembered the incomplete thought she had expressed to me the day before. Messiah, even you treat me that way. I can't believe she'd think that. We were childhood friends and everything. But as Ruko said, it may have been the influence of the school that led her to think that way. Well, now that I know what she's thinking, we can fix it. I'll talk to her again tomorrow. Yes, please do your best. After all, you pledged yourselves to each other once. What? You did? No, it's not like that. What? Where did that come from, Ruko-san? Am I wrong? That is what I assumed it meant to be to be childhood friends. No, the term seriously doesn't have that implication at all. Ruko-san was intelligent, but she was also the kind of girl who had never seen boxers before. And there was her reaction to our handshake too. She was the kind of person who showed that being intelligent and being knowledgeable were not necessarily the same thing. Look at me. I'm so flustered. I apologize for startling you. That that's what I meant. I'm so startled. Hmm? I couldn't quite understand what the difference was myself. Ahem. Well, Messiah-san, I believe you should go by yourself this time. Please inform us of the results. Roger. Unfortunately, the results weren't much to talk about. What do you want now? Chio moved away swiftly, and I picked up the pace to meet her. We ended up in the rose garden. Wait a minute, at least hear me out, please. Or are you just never gonna talk to me again? Look, I was really happy to see you again. Idiot. Huh? Just spit it out. I'm listening. Right. Finally, I explained to her about the mob coming after me. However, so? Her reaction was still cold. Are you kidding me? You were bad at making excuses in the headmistress's office, and you're bad at making them now. Excuse what? But I'm telling you the truth. No matter how dangerous they were, why would they go after someone who had nothing to do with you? It's just, well, even though it was my old man's debt, they were still coming after me, so. A son is not the same as a childhood friend. Well, that is true, but it is true. We were just friends, that's all. It would be different if we were a couple, of course. But I can't imagine they would ever come after me to collect on your debt. But listen, Chio, you know how dangerous the goons are? Don't you know how dangerous the goons are, don't you? Huh? Why would I know anything about the mafia? That was true. I don't think you really know either. Honestly, I think you're just making things up. No, I really do know. No, my source was the old man. That old bastard, what he was good, so good with his words, he'd had me fully convinced the goons were dangerous. Though in the end, it still seems like he was right about that. Well, since I never got to tell you personally, I guess it wasn't obvious how scared I was. Of course, of course I wasn't. Now let me go. It wasn't until she said that I realized I was holding on to her wrist. The moment I let her go, oh, she turned on her heel. Ah, well, she's always been fast on her feet. Jeez, stupid Messiah. I want to make up with you so badly. Why do you have to keep lying to me? And that's how it turned out. That is troubling. Although at a glance, it does seem like an unbelievable story. Yeah, I can't really deny that. Last night I speculated that it was her time at Vince's Nest that had affected her, but it appears that the lack of communication from you may have been exacerbated the issue. After all, Chiho-san doesn't know the details of the situation. Yeah, that was true. That's what I had been so worried about and why I had wanted to see her. I couldn't count the number of times I found myself somewhere looking up at the sky, eyes filled with tears as I thought of Chiho and my friends. But I couldn't make her understand that, and not knowing the circumstances was making it worse. Chiho-san's heart appears to have entered a deep freeze over the past year. Yeah, you might be right about that. But it may be Messiah-san's warm passion that will melt that ice. Right. But that's where the conversation stalled. Ruko's-san's mention of warm passion didn't seem to have any concrete plan attached to it. I did have an idea. Messiah-san's concerns proved correct in the end, which means, what if we demonstrate it to her? Demonstrated what? The danger of the goons. Hmm? They came up to me just because they saw us together in that restaurant. So what if the same thing happened with Chiyo-san in my place? Ah, I see. Lure them out. But wouldn't that be a little dangerous? What do you mean? You're excellent in a fight after all. I am? I don't really think so. But then they must simply be poor fighters. Ah, but we don't know for sure if that's the case. The truth was, I haven't had a day's worth of real training. Hmm. The idea makes me pretty anxious. It would be one thing if it were just me, but to bring Chiho into it, that is true. It may be a bit too reckless to be practical. By that you mean if we could mitigate any possibility of danger, it would be acceptable? Well, I guess, but in that case, what if we were to ask my father to assign a bodyguard? What? You can do that? Ruiko-san nodded. When I am at home, he always assigns me one when I go outside. Ah, I see. That's a good idea. As time is of the essence, we should begin tomorrow if we can. Yes, I will make the request to my father. Please wait a moment. If you have a professional bodyguard, there should be nothing to fear. Am I correct? Yeah, I guess so. Wow, but that was a surprise. The bodyguard? Yeah, normally I would have thought that sort of thing was impossible. The students who attend Vents Nest starting in primary course are all from wealthy families. But Ruruko-san's family is especially extraordinary. They are the Kamiyagi group, after all. The Kamiyagi group. Even I knew that name. I think everyone in Japan knew that name. Lately, they were even known around the world as the globally expanding Kamiyagi. To put it plainly, the idea of me becoming friends with someone from a family like that was nothing short of a miracle. Ruko-san is an honest to goodness hothouse flower. Rise-san was a very attractive person, but she was still a proper lady, which gave her statement extra conviction. Um, Ku, you look rather upset. Did they refuse? He didn't refuse, but Ruruko-san explained that the suddenness of the request meant that their usual bodyguards were already fully scheduled elsewhere. If it were someone that I knew, I could recommend them with confidence, but in this case, what shall we do? Can we still get a bodyguard? Yes, it's a company, so they do have several hundred available. In that case, let's do it. I want to make up with Shiho quickly, too. Very well. Ruruko-san pressed a few buttons on her cell phone to take it off hold. Father, I will take one after all. Yes, tomorrow. From there, the three of us worked out the finer points of our plan, and I prepared for tomorrow. Hello? Okay, there we go. The next day, I was hiding by the gate, waiting for the others to show. Ah, here they come. Hey, Ruruko-san, can we really leave the school grounds? Yes. It was a little surprising. She had heard there were people who left school grounds now and again, but she would have never figured Ruruko was the type. Chio-san, are you hungry? Oh yeah, now that you mention it, I skipped dinner. I'm glad to hear it. I've heard that the food at Papatore Moon Rock is simply delicious. Is this your first time going there? Ah, well, the truth is I leave the campus so rarely. That's that's true. So today is your first time? Yes. But why so suddenly? Did something happen? Yes, something wonderful. That is why I wish to celebrate today. I see. She didn't know what it was, but she wanted to celebrate it with all her heart. Ruiko was the first and dearest friend she had made at Vincennes. If I may, you have been friends with Messiah-san since childhood, have you not? Ah, well, yeah. I wish that you had told me. Ah, well, it's just what? I was a little embarrassed, I guess. Is that so? Well, yeah. It was my first time seeing him in a long time. I've known him since he was in short pants. I see. All of my childhood friends are still here with me, after all. Ah, that's right. Because you've all been living here since primary course. Yes, so I cannot imagine what it would be like to have a male childhood friend. To be honest, I am envious of you. I don't think it's very enviable. Is that so? But when I first questioned you about the subject, you told me that Messiah-san was not a bad person. Ah, haha, you remembered that, I guess. I have since realized that that is how you truly feel. We're at the school gate. How do we get out? Ryoko checked the time on her wristwatch. It should open soon. What? What could she mean? But before Chio had time to think on that question, the gate opened with a heavy sound. What? Why did it? Now, Chio-san, let us depart. Right. As Chio walked through, she heard Ruko's footsteps slow. Suspicious, she turned back around. For some reason, Ruruko was still standing within the school walls. What's wrong? Her only response was a bright smile. Just then, someone ran out from beside Ruruko. Chiyo gasped in shock. Huh? Ruruko remained calm, however. It was as if she knew it was coming. Chiyo! Ah, Messiah! It was her childhood friend running towards her. But before she could react, he had grabbed her hand. Good luck! Thanks. As Ruruko waved, the gate closed again. Hey, what's going on here? Chiyo recovered from her stupor and clung to the gate while trying to shake me off. But no matter how she hit me or flailed around, I wasn't letting go. The gate will open at 9 o'clock. Be certain to return by then. 9 o'clock? Hey, Ruruko-san! Farewell! With that last graceful word, Ruruko-san disappeared down the path. Wait, Messiah, what's going on here? Come on, don't be so mad. The teachers probably won't find out. That is not the point. It's been a whole year since we last saw each other. Shouldn't we grab something to eat? That's not the point either. I'm getting an allowance from the school. I can buy you a full course meal or whatever you want. Oh look, the bus is here. Made it just in time. If we miss the next one is not for an hour. So let's go quickly. I pulled her by the hand to the bus stop. Chiyo didn't resist me. Sitting on the bench at the bus stop was a man in black and a woman. The woman was just a bystander, and the man was probably the bodyguard. How long are you going to hold my hand? Oh, sorry. For heaven's sake. The bus was nearly empty. We sat side by side, Chiyo looking out the window as if to avoid my gaze. Well, are you going to explain what's going on? I want to make up with you. So you're going to bribe me with food? I'm not that much of a glutton, you know. It's not that. I wanted to show you just how bad the goons are. What? She took her eyes off the window for a moment to glance at me. What do you mean? You think my story is unbelievable, right? Well, yeah, it was pretty fishy sounding. No, it's okay. I agree with you. That's why I thought showing you would be better than any explanation. The goons aren't going to give up that easily. They catch sight of me, and they'll come right at me, on the spot. If they come, I'm going to run away, and leave you behind. What? I mean, pretend to run, you know. By your logic, the goons won't come after you, right? Because we're not related. Well, that's... But they're going to do it, because they're like rabid dogs. So, if it does go down like that, you'll believe me, right? The reason I didn't tell you about the loan was because I was worried about you. That is, I mean, I didn't think for a minute that your attitude towards me would change if you knew about my financial situation. Ah. Chiyo's eyes went wide, and she turned her face back towards the window. Well, I knew that. The truth is, Ruruko-san told me. I see. She says you shouldn't worry about what people say, no matter how they view you. You're still you. Don't lecture me like that, you Tentature serpent. You're a ten-toucher serpent after all. That's your fault. What? You're blaming that on me? As we bickered, we reached our final stop. Yes, it was your fault. You're the one that slapped him. It's been so long since I left the campus. As we stepped off the bus into the crowd, Chio stretched her arms into the air. Vincent really doesn't let us out. It makes you wonder, did I really have a life before coming here? Speaking of which, Chio, when did you take the entrance exam for Vincent? Oh, well, my parents recommended it. Wow, your dad must have worked hard. I hear the entrance fee is really high. Ah, there was no problem with that. Wow, really? People who start with primary course have to pay a heavy fee, but people who enter in final just need a good test score. That's what the teacher said. Wow, that's right, Chio. That's right, Chio. You always were smart. I don't know. She was also athletic and had the looks to match. Her stubborn personality was the diamond's only flaw. If only could if you could call it that. As her childhood friend, it was hard for me to be objective, but thinking about it calmly, she was a really impressive person. Chio, do you have a title too? Wow, Messiah, you've gotten really used to Vincent S, huh? No, it's not that. I just heard that popular girls get titles. Is that sarcasm? I'm being honest. Of course I don't have a title. Oh, I see. I guess it's because you got started late. But Ruruko-san said that discriminating against people for that is stupid. Yeah. If they look down on you for being a final courser, I wonder what they think of me. I must be like some exotic beast. Chio laughed, and I felt a little more at ease. That was the feeling. This was the way we always laughed together before I ran out that night. Back then, I had thought we'd have days like this forever. Ah, crap. What's the matter? Is something in your eye? Yeah, I think so. Ow. Here, let me have a look. Oh, no thanks. You probably couldn't see it in the lamplight anyway. I guess that's true. It's fine now. Well, let's go to the restaurant. I started walking off ahead of her. You're really going to buy for me? You know that I don't have my wallet with me. Ruko told me not to bring it. I've got it. By the way, is there some reason you wanted me to wear my uniform? Ruko-san insisted that I wear it too. They know about Vince Ness, so it'll make you stand out, you know? Wow. After we placed our orders, Chio looked around appreciatively. I'm impressed that you knew about this place. It's a very stylish place. No, this is just my second time here. The first time I came here was with Rise-san. Oh, so that's how it is. What? You did seem rather close, you and Rise-san. Oh, no. I mean, we are close, but, uh, I mean, we are on speaking terms, but she just invited me here to ask me to come to Vincent S. It's not what you think. I wasn't sure why just explaining the situation was making me so nervous. Hmm. Well, never mind. It doesn't concern me anyway. But I really was surprised. Chio's eyebrows were on the table, face resting in her hands as she stared off to the side. I never knew that your family was that badly off. I mean, I sort of had a feeling about it, but I never knew it was that bad. That's because your parents always helped us out. It wasn't exaggerating to say that if not for Chio's parents, I might have starved to death. I avoided the subject because I didn't want to cause any more trouble for them. Keeping us at a distance? Maybe I was, but now I'm completely out of sympathy for the old bastard. So, the old bastard? My old man. When I think about what he did to me before I came to Vince Ness, it makes me glad that I hit it. Messiah. Oh, that reminds me. I took on a cheerful tone to try to dispel the darkness hanging over the conversation. There's something I've been wondering about. I think you probably know what I'm talking about. What did you want to ask me on graduation day? Uh, I'm not going to tell you. Well, that was ages ago. It's just too late to bring it up now. Well, I guess that's true. But I found myself thinking from time to time, what if I had gone to meet Chio that day, even knowing the danger? What would that have changed the course of my whole life? Although there was a high possibility that whatever she had to say wasn't that important, too. Ah, I glanced outside the restaurant and shifted back silently in my chair. Hmm? Chio noticed the sudden change in my mood and turned back to me quickly. They're here. What? The goons. Okay, just like we planned, here I go. Wait a minute. As I stood up, she reached out to grip my hand. It's fine. It's all just an act. I'll be watching you over you from close by. Also, the did you see the man in the black suit on the bus before? Yeah, he did seem a little strange. He's a bodyguard we hired just in case. Ruko-san called him in. Okay, I'm going now. You stay right here, right where you are, Chiho. Right, I will. I checked to make sure she had let go, then left the table. I was so anxious that the hair stood up on the back of my neck, but the plan should be foolproof. Chiyo watched helplessly as her childhood friend departed. She didn't actually doubt Messiah's words. It was just such a difficult story to believe. Would those mobsters really go after someone's friend over alone? Is that them? There were two men who clearly stood out from the crowd. They were heading towards the restaurant. They were looking at her. Soon after, they entered. At first, they just looked around threateningly, but then, with loud footsteps, they advanced on her table. They stood out like sore thumbs in the upper-class restaurant. Some of the other patrons were casting surreptitious glances at them. Hey, girlie! Okonogi Messiah was just at this table, wasn't he? Well, why are you asking? She had meant to sound defiant, but her voice was trembling. Heh. He gave a coarse laugh and leaned in closer to her. Trio turned her face away. He's a pretty smooth operator. You know he was here with some other pretty Vince Ness girl a while back. And now he's here, eating dinner with you. Hey, did you know about that? He's got a lot to learn, though. You can't take different girls to the same restaurant. He's gotta be more cautious about that stuff. I, ah? It would do no good to argue with a gangster. Chio fell silent and shook her head. She wondered if Messiah was watching from somewhere. She glanced out the window but couldn't see him anywhere. But girlie, you sure know how to pick him. Did you know that brat owes us money? Ain't a small amount either. Here, look at this. He opened both his hands in front of her. One finger represents 1,000,000. That makes 10,000,000. I wonder when he'll pay that back. That's not Messiah. Messiah didn't borrow that money. Parents take responsibility for their kids, and kids take a responsibility for their parents. That's how the world works. He can't just ignore his father's debt. That's right. Well, anyways, you could pay it back for him, you know. With that, he grabbed her shoulders, and a chill ran through Chio's body. Just then, that's enough of that. It was the man in black who had been on the bus. Hmm? Who the hell are you? You're not with the restaurant. I'm a bodyguard. Huh? A bodyguard? Take your dirty hand off her. You didn't hear me? You want me to hurt you? Hurt me? Heh. And what are you going to do? Don't take me lightly or you'll regret it. Oh? I'm a combined 75th rank in judo, kempo, karate, and capoeira. It's true. So if you don't want to get hurt, a combined 75th rank in what and what? With a mocking laugh, the underling pulled out a handgun from his pocket. You think you can take me down with a toy like that? He shot a hole in the wall, and everyone in the restaurant froze. Sorry. Huh? I only just joined the company, and the 75th ranking was a bald-faced lie. Now, come on. No! The customers scattered like flies. Not one of them came forward to help her. She didn't exact help either. No one would put themselves in danger for a stranger's sake. That was true for strangers, but for a childhood friend, she was shocked by her own thought. What did childhood friend mean to her in the end? At the end of the day, we're not just strangers. And with that, Chio's mouth moved on its own. Messiah! Messiah! I was watching from behind a mailbox when my eyes opened wide in shock. A handgun? You gotta be kidding me. It also turned out the bodyguard was worthless. He'd taken off at full speed. Ah, Chiho! I ran in just in time to hear Chio's cry piercing through the night air. Messiah! Wow, you actually had the guts to come out? Or maybe you just don't see too well. The underling waved the weapon so that it glinted in the light. 20/20 eyesight. And you think this is a toy or something? This is a Russian Tokarev, so you better not think about it. I heard the shot before. Oh, I see. And what did you come here for? Did you really think I could just run away and leave Chio here? Ah, oh, I see. This girl was you're a girl after all, eh? That's not it. It's not like that. But if you got two pretty girls you're stringing along, you oughta spread it around, asshole. Shut the hell up. Heh, fine then. Darrell Lane gestured towards the door with his shin. Head outside. Then he released Chio from uh, her headlock and thrust her forcibly away. Ah! Ah! Chiho! I told you, head outside. With a gun pointed at me, I couldn't exactly refuse. Whoa, for real? Seriously? That is a gun, isn't it? The bodyguard's already run off? What's going on here? You can really afford one of those? I was trying to buy time, so I said the first thing that came to mind. Heh, you got better taste than I thought. Yeah, it cost me a bundle, too. How much was it? Huh? 100,000. I want to shake you down, right? This ain't some crummy underworld shakedown. You oughta be grateful for the effort. That's amazing. Shut up, moron. Come on, Kiyoshi. Quit jabbering already. The cops are gonna be here soon. Right. Well, maybe you want to take a trip on a tuna boat or something? Huh? My eyes were drawn to the ground below. Then suddenly, I crouched down. What are you doing? Hiding your head without hiding your ass, eh? My eyes were focused on an area just about the underling's crotch level. It's the cat! I know it! The cat's face was turned downward, and his mouth was working fervidly. There must have been some food on the ground just behind the underling. I lunged forward suddenly before he could escape. Huh? Whoa! uh, my face smacked into something, but I reached out and managed to grab the cat. Hey you, what did you do with my lottery ticket? Hey, Messiah, what are you doing? You're hurting the cat. Ah, right. At her words, I relaxed my grip, but I was still holding the cat by the scruff of the neck. Well, I grabbed at it instinctively, but thinking about it sensibly, he probably didn't still have my lottery ticket. And even if by chance it was still in good condition somewhere, the cat couldn't tell me where it was. Whew. Hey, Messiah-san, what are you sighing for? Huh? Tammy-san? You're amazing! Tommy-san seemed excited about something. In what way? In what way? You took out that old guy with the handgun in one hit. Huh? I turned around and she was right. The underling was sprawled out on the floor behind me. A sudden seizure? Huh? I knew you weren't normal. Huh? Hey, Kiyoshi, get up already. Cough. No choice, I guess. The cops will be here soon, too. The boss hefted the underling up on his shoulders in a familiar fashion and staggered away. What's with those two? I thought I was done for the minute they pulled out that gun. Seriously? What are you talking about? Huh? You're the one that beat them. Headbutt right into the vitals. Huh? Of course, that strangely warm sauce. The thing I felt against my face from before was, what? I instantly started scrubbing my face. As if she didn't notice my distress, Tammy-san happily turned her digital camera as view screen towards me. See? Have a look. I got it at just the right moment. Uh, Chio let out a slightly disgusted noise. This is a scoop. This is perfect. Now I'm leaving. Bye! Tammy-san took her leave. All that remained behind her were two people and one cat. What are you planning to do with that cat? Oh, right. Before I could explain, the cat started, uh, retching. Look at that. It's because you squeezed it so hard. I set it down on the ground and Chio began stroking the cat's back. No, I think this is just normal for a normal cat vomit. What? You know, cats vomit a lot. They throw up fur they swallowed and stuff. That's what I've heard. Oh, I wasn't exactly in the mood to look at the cat regurgitating food. I happened to catch sight of a familiar color inside it. Ah, it can't be. I reached forward, groping through the partially digested food around it. Ah, what are you doing, Messiah? I unfurled the wad of paper in front of my eyes. My sticky fingers began to tremble. I was like a man taken by a sudden fever. What's wrong? The print was clearly legible. It was sticky with fluid and smelled terrible, but there was no mistaking it. I could still use this. Wow! Ah! I leapt to my feet, surprised Chiho fell on her backside. What? Wait a minute. I'm going to the bank. What? For the ATM? Yes! What's with him? Ellipses. Damn, it was already closed. You weren't just you were just going to the ATM? Well, of course it was. Right. Ah, where's the cat? Already gone. He looked very relieved. I see. Well, that makes sense. Having paper in your stomach like that. It would be hard on a human, too. Paper? That's right. You pulled something out of it, didn't you? A lottery ticket. Oh, that's right. Only Rise-san knows about that. I won the lottery. The jackpot. What? Really? Yeah. No, this is really great. Now I can get the goons off my back. I told her the story about how I won the lottery, but the cat had stolen my ticket. He had probably been keeping it in his nesting place until yesterday or today. I see. I thought you were acting a bit strangely. You moved so suddenly. It was like a baseball player sliding into first. I think Tammy-san really got the wrong idea. I think it was better that she did, though. Huh? I know the position you're in. A favorable news story would do you a lot of good, right? Well, that's true. Besides, you still saved me one way or another. Oh, that's right. Are you okay? He shoved you pretty hard back there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He didn't hurt me. I'm glad to hear that. But that really was close. I let out a big sigh. He had a gun. I couldn't believe my eyes, and then the bodyguard ran off. To be honest, I didn't think you would come to save me. Huh? Why not? I felt a pang of disappointment. You didn't think I'd run off and leave you, did you? But, I mean, we're just... We're just what? We're just childhood friends, after all. I thought about what she said, then burst out laughing. What's so funny? It's just, what? We're childhood friends. That's the reason I saved you. Because we're childhood friends? I see. That makes sense. Yeah. Jeez, Chiho. Don't say stuff like that. I guess you're right. Thanks to the commotion at Papa Torre Rock, Moon Rock, we hadn't gotten to eat. We settled for hamburgers, then got on the bus back to school. I hadn't actually done a lot, but I still felt more tired than usual. Maybe due to all the anxiety. The bus ride was bumpy and rather warm, which was comforting, but it also made me sleepy. Chio, perhaps feeling the same way, rested her head against the window and didn't say much. That cat returns the favor. I guess the cat returns the favor. I guess that's how the saying goes. I stroked the lottery ticket in my pocket. I had wiped it clean with a tissue, then folded it up neatly. I'd cash it first thing in the morning, then I'll call the goons and pay them back. It was a little galling, but I didn't want to have to worry about money anymore. Look, to ward off sleep, I decided to talk a little bit. I'm the same way you were. After I moved, I didn't even try to make any friends. What? Chio turned back to me, a little surprised. Those gangsters showed up there too. That's why we moved back to Gaoka. So when I first heard about the lottery, I was really happy, and not just about the money. I was also thinking, with this, I can make 100 friends, you know? Messiah, I'm sorry. Huh? About what? For slapping you. Anyways, guys, we will pause there for today. I'm gonna put it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you guys put a like, subscribe, and hold on. Go to system. Go to title.
タイトル画面に戻ります。プリンセスエヴァンジール。
And I will see you guys on the next one.
もう帰っちゃうの？残念。